Hello everyone, welcome to my shop. This is going to be a quick install video of the new Tackform Slim Rail dash mount system for the Ford Ranger. This is for the 24 and up Ford Rangers, should fit all the different models. They offer two different TRAXX systems. I went with the Slim line. They have an Assault line if you're more into the AR-15 style builds and such. But this is going to allow me to mount several things to my dash. You'll see that later in the video, but it looks like it's going to be a really quick install. I'm going to go through what comes in the kit. It's actually super comprehensive, which is really impressive. The tools you need, and then we'll get inside and go ahead and get it installed. As I said, should be a really quick install. Before we get to the install real quick, just to show you what comes in the kit. First you get this custom molded piece that goes above the dash. This is actually all aluminum. These are cast aluminum brackets on the sides. I was expecting these to be plastic. Really high-end looking stuff. You get your track of choice. You get some mounting hardware. As well as they actually include these four little pieces here that slide into the track to help guide any wiring or anything, depending on what you've got attached to the track. I went ahead and ordered just a basic accessory kit, a couple of balls to mount to the track, one knob which I upgraded to one of their colored billet thumb knobs just because, and then I also have one of their mag mounts because I'm going to be mounting my trailer brake controller to this. But what's almost more impressive is what also comes in the kit. They include a nut driver, as well as a trim tool, a couple of Allen keys of appropriate sizes, a drill bit that you're going to need, as well as a drill bushing to both guide and set depth to make sure that you don't over drill. Really impressive that they're including all of this in the kit. So really makes the install go very easy. Realistically, all you should need for this install at this point is basically a drill, maybe a rag or something to help protect the dash a little bit more. And that's about it, maybe a light. So we're going to go ahead, get inside, and get this installed. The first step of the install is going to be to remove this upper trim piece here. So they do include a nice little trim tool. It should just be prying up around the edges. It might be good to have an additional rag here. I'm not entirely sure how hard this is going to be to pry against, but all right, so not too hard to get out. There are 4 total clips, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got one about midway up each side, plus 2 in the middle. The next step is going to be to use the included nut driver. There are 2 nuts on top of the dash here. You do not need to remove them, you just need to loosen them. That is because the track, or the mount for the track actually, has these slotted screws. So I'm going to go ahead, loosen these some. So at this point they're basically all the way out, but I can just slide the bracket underneath, and then I can go ahead and tighten these back down. With the upper 2 mounting screws mounted, the next step is we do need to drill the dash a little bit. They do provide you with this drill bushing and a specific drill bit. You're going to want a fairly short drill, but you may not need a right angle, just a small drill would probably do. This drill bushing does 2 things. One, it actually lines up in here and actually kind of locks in. It also gives you kind of a center point as well as a kind of a depth stop. You don't want a ton of drill sticking out. I've got maybe 3/8 of an inch. I could probably shorten it a little bit more, but I do have to get through the bracket. So you're going to get through there. Next up, there are 2 provided self-tapping screws. I missed this earlier, but these are Phillips heads, so you do just need a basic Phillips head driver. Push down and drive them in. You want to snug these up, but bear in mind you are just tapping into plastic, so don't go nuts or you'll strip them out. Just one other quick note. They do mention this on their website. If for some reason you do want to remove this to sell the truck later, the factory plastic trim will cover these 2 holes, so it's not a big deal. The last step before we install the rail itself, they do include these 2 little rubber caps. There is a notch, it's hard to see, there's a notch in the cap that does need to align with the notch in the track, push those in, and it's a nice clean install. Now we're going to go ahead and install the track itself onto the mount system here. Before I do that, I am going to go ahead and put two of the four included wire guides into the track. There's a slot in the back of the track, and this just simply slides into it. So now we're going to go ahead and install the rail itself onto the mount. You've got a series of threaded holes here. They're going to line up with a series of the slots here. They do include up to 5 of these bolts, as well as the Allen key. So it's going to be in part a matter of finding the right slot, right hole configuration. Okay, after a little bit of trial and error, as I said, there are basically two sets of holes in here. To get the track to be flush with the front of the bracket, you actually need to use the more, I guess, forward set of holes. There are only 4 of them in the track. I appear to have a slight problem. It looks like the hardware that they provided me, although it does thread in properly, this track has recesses in it so that you can slide objects in and out of the track. The head of the bolt is not sitting down in the pocket. I am going to contact Tackform about that and see if I can get that corrected. It does also make, in my case, getting the bolts in a little bit harder. I have found that if I tip the bolt on its side, I can basically slide it in and work its way down the track. I'm going to go ahead and get the 4 bolts I need in and go ahead and get them snugged up in here, and then I'll come back. Once you have all the fasteners in and snugged up, you can do your best to get it fairly centered, and then it's just a matter of tightening down all of the hardware. It appears that I spoke a little too soon about the bolts not being the right size. They are very tight, getting the heads to fit down into the slots, but it does look like they do actually recess in. So at this point, the install is done, with the exception of installing your tracks. Really cool setup, super clean install. I mean, it fits really well, and as I said, I'm impressed that these are actually aluminum and not just molded plastic, but seems very sturdy. I'm going to go ahead and mount up some accessories, and we'll wrap up the video. So that's it for the install. Super easy install. As I said, they basically include everything but a Phillips head screwdriver and a small drill. Seems very secure. Really nice setup, really good packaging and everything else. Got my trailer brake controller mounted, plenty of room for other things if I ever want to mount a GoPro or a two-way radio or anything in this. I'm now all set. So overall, super clean, really like it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, and I'll have some more videos coming soon.